trying to do this whole reveal with the fan and pushing record at the same time. It's tricky stuff, you know. Might I have this dance? A chance for romance? Well, hello. Yes, I am bringing you a rather romantic video for day 44. What have I in store? Hey, no. And it's very close to Mardi Gras, which of course is canceled pretty much like everything else. But people still persist with their floats and their flibberty gibbets and wonders and tidbits, and I hope that other people do the same and take that advice and keep decorating even though stuff's not going on. Keep being fanciful and romanceful. You can do it. I actually made matching masks like this. I mean, obviously I didn't make the mask, but I added all of the flooty-doos and flooty-das and ribbonsy bobs when my best friend and I went to New Orleans for Halloween, and it was a life-changing experience, which I have still promised you many stories from, and I'll have to get to another time, darling, because it's Valentine's Eve, and so I want to bring you all those supreme, tragic, magic things that go along with romance, you see. This feather is tickling me quite. Yeah, so I've set myself in front of a rather romantic backdrop. I like to decorate my home accordingly, you know, to the seasons and the reasons for celebration, elation, whatever the chon you choose to partake upon. This is an extremely special dress. It belonged to my great-grandmother, Aline, and wow, I feel magical in it. It was used many, many, many years ago when I was in a production of Robin Hood. Actually, my first love and I at the time, speaking of the L word, we really wanted to be Maid Marian and Robin Hood, but we didn't get those parts. I was cast as the Queen of England, you know. I took it as a high compliment that I think I was 14 or 15 at the time, and everyone was like, wow, you really seemed like an old woman up there. And I was like, I'm gonna take that as a nicety, thank you. I tried very hard. I did get very cool costumes as the queen, but damn, who doesn't want to be the romantic lead, right? But I let my friend who was Maid Marian curse her. No, just kidding. I got some cool roles as well. It's an interesting thing because I always wanted like the romantic parts, the pretty parts. And I think to challenge me, my director often gave me like the harder like caricatures, the queen, the the hobbit that I played, the Beaufort, the mute hobbit. But I stole the show in that one. Damn, did I ever. I mean, I'm not joking. I got so many laughs when I was that little mute hobbit. Or I guess I was a dwarf. What am I saying? Gosh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to seem like a bad nerd. Of course I know that Beaufort was a dwarf. Forgive me. It's been a long evening. Treacherous day in our history, of course, if you're paying any attention. But I had to bring you some flirtation and romancification to try to make up for it. Because, boy, not looking so hot. It's pretty bad, actually. Looking more and more seriously into the prospects of Canada. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that was my little rant, is that often the most odd roles are the ones that really stick out. The ones that aren't the pretty girl are often the most fun to play. But yeah, so I let the gal who played Maid Marian wear this, and I was holding my breath every second she was wearing it, because I was like, gasp, alas, and alack, don't rip it, or I shall have to crack you upon the ass. Anyway, oh my god, that was the most graceful. Could a maiden sit more gracefully, really? I think not. This necklace, also incredibly sacred to me. Wow, profoundly special. I gotta get just in on it. Ooh, it's special. Ooh. Now I wish I had looked up the vocab word for it, and now I can't think of it. It has a very specific name. It's a type of necklace. Oh, it's gonna bug me now that I didn't look it up beforehand. Dang it. All those little details. But I was in this incredible play called H2O. It was a 2-person show. It gutted people. Like, I think maybe I've mentioned it before. I like to talk about it. It was a crowning achievement in my life. Like so many things, I made no money really to speak of, but it was very impactful, and it got grown-ass men weeping loudly, and coming up to me and being like, that was just really... They had the vapors. They couldn't even talk. It was amazing. I mean, that's an accomplishment as an actor, when you get those tough guys right in the guttural muscles and they begin to drip from their eyes, from their eyeballs. Yeah, it's a good feeling. So, in the play, the characters are playing Hamlet and Ophelia, and the male character is like a big well-to-do movie star who wants to like prove that he's not just some hot guy, so he's doing Hamlet on Broadway. And this very, very religious young lady named Deborah becomes his Ophelia, and they of course begin to fall in love, but it's mad complicated. Easily the best production I've ever participated in, or just, most wowing to the audience, I guess I would say. Yeah, just fully leaving it on the stage every night. But this was the necklace that he gifts her in the play, and my director let me keep it, and it's very special to me. So there we go. Love this fan as well. Had to get it to go to New Orleans, where I learned all about the language of fans. I can't say as I remember what it's all about now, but I know there was various distinct things. You would do one of these and one of these if you were trying to communicate that whatever you please, whatever you wanted to say. I'm a virgin and I hate you, or the man you're with is no good. There was all these like secret lingo things. How cool is that? Just so much show and tell. So many things I have to show you. Things are falling. It's a delicate balance here. My sweet boo thing, my love, he got me this incredible dainty, this opal beauty, for Christmas, and I really love it. And I've got some surprises for him in store tomorrow that you will be let in on. My dad got me this last Christmas, and it's Cinderella. Very, very vintage Cinderella tin, and I'm feeling quite like her in this dress, so that's pretty cool. Like that quite a bit. Should have this on. Heavens. What's romanticism without a little candlelight? Oh, you can't even see it. JK. We'll just put it somewhere like here. There we go. Why not, right? Little candlelight. Little moonlight. I guess the tinkling is nice, right? But I'm tinkling a bit much, aren't I? Bit excessive on the twinkle tinkle back here. But it's good ambiance. Anyway, I marked a couple spots in this. I have this entire collection of books. They're really special to me. I got them at the Bizarre Bazaar. Free advertising plug. You're welcome, guys. Right here in Fort Collins, Colorado. Go get your special, unique books. This one is called The Lure of Love. And I thought that was pretty cool. I saved this picture of a key, lock key, because I thought that was kind of symbolic. It's interesting though, these books, there's like one for Christmas, there's ones for all these holidays, and dragons and elves and ghosts, and a lot of them are kind of dark, not gonna lie. But I picked out a couple little selections for you here. So here's this beautiful old-timey artwork. And I just liked that it was called Destiny's Playthings. Isn't that dramatic? That should totally be like a soap opera, I think. Can we get that going? Anybody want to start that with me? Let's do it. Destiny's Playthings. In the old world, when gods and goddesses walked upon the earth and unseen powers shaped the lives of mortal men and women, love was never taken lightly, fierce or tender, sudden as thunder or slow to bud. It was a force that defied all understanding. Love engendered dreams and nightmares, begat ecstasy or madness, inspired poetry and bloodshed in equal measure. The human heart was its playground and its battlefield, but few folks were foolish enough to imagine that human will was its master. Young people passed on charms that would, they hoped, enable them to see the face or hear the name of the future mate they were destined for, but they knew full well that they had no power to change what was thus disclosed to them. The old lore recorded how deities directed the course of love to suit their own arcane intentions, but there were other supernatural interventions, curses that imposed their own dark justice, and spirits, beneficent or demonic, that broke all bounds of space and time to bring a destined pair together. No matter how remote the antiquity or setting in which these events took place, the tales had for their listeners a powerful immediacy. Love in all its terror and delight swept up the souls of peasants as well as princes, and anyone caught up in its currents was, for a time, on footing with the gods. I like that little snippet. That's juicy. That's well written, y'all. This one was called Recipes for Romance, and I thought there was some just kind of interesting language in here. I like it. Orchids. It was said were the food of lascivious satyrs. Some claimed the vigorous young root, powdered and sprinkled over food, could make mortals frolic like the goat-footed revelers. Many women, though, found their sorrow that the charm's effects diminished once the marriage vows had been pronounced. Bummer. Witches concocted for gullible customers improbable amalgams alleged to rouse overwhelming passions in the heart of anyone who ate them. One recipe included the dried and ground liver of a pigeon and the brain of a blackbird. The resulting powder was sprinkled over the loved one's food. Woo! And you thought those people on Match.com were getting desperate. Hoo-wee, swiping away. Try eating some powdered brain. Yeah. Another potion guaranteed a woman's constancy by ensuring a place in her dreams. A lock of her hair had to be burned to ashes, which were then sprinkled on the frame of her bed and held in place with honey. Stuck fast, the cinders were meant to keep the hopeful lover before the woman's eyes, even as she slept. Wowee! Here's one for tonight, since it is negative degrees out. Super, super chillsville. Even in the darkest midwinter, when the trees on which it grew had shed their leaves, mistletoe stayed green. Perhaps for that reason it was always associated with fertility. Merely to stand beneath a sprig of the white-berried plant at the season of the winter solstice and exchange a kiss was thought to foster love. Holy heck. So cool. So, yeah, just really nifty stuff in there. I enjoy it thoroughly. And I've got some other ones. I won't, go too deep into them, but, just wee butterflies flitting. Ooh, it's so romantic. This one is about dragons. They can come in many forms, even those you'd least expect. And behind me is The Lady of the Lake, one of my favorite paintings. Tragic, horrible, terrible, sad tale, but beautiful in its way. like many of these. I brought out, since I'm going to do a whole thing tomorrow for my boo, who is the kindest and most gentle and most wonderful man I have ever met, I thought I would take the night of tonight being the night of tonight. Talking's hard when it's cold, okay? But I thought I would do kind of a digging through the mists of Valentine's past, right? Because I've gotten super lost in the woods of love. How lost hath I been? So yeah, I thought I would just dive in a little. And golly, I went on some treasure trove excavation. Again, more excavating. I found this cute, what do you call it? A fortune cookie that says, "Rarely do great beauty and vivid love dwell together as they do in you." Aww, little love note to myself. Somebody's got to do it, right? This was an interesting one. This is the older guy I was all hung up on that I told you about when I was like 16. And I had written a bunch of stuff under here, and I covered it up. That's how mad about it I was. And I wrote, "I mistook it as love." Ooh, child. I'm going to get to some of my own words here soon, I promise. But this was at the old Mercury Cafe. I remember there was a Valentine's celebration. So I had this all kind of folded in here, and I just thought this was so cool. My love of goddesses and all. It says, "Once upon a time, long before Saint Valentine, the people this time of year celebrated Fevrua, the goddess of the fire of desire. I am Fevrua, goddess of the fever of love. The ideas of February, and they called it February, belong to me. My celebrations begin on the eve of the midpoint between the winter solstice and the vernal equinox. At the beginning of February, when the Earth Mother feels the quickening of life in her belly. Begin by passing flirtation notes to one another, licentious love notes, heart-shaped pink and red to mimic the swelling of the mouths of vulvas of the female mammals that come into heat this time of year." I didn't write that. You heard it here, folks. "Feel your temperature rise as hers does. For 2 weeks, look for omens everywhere, in the wind, in the shadows, in the moon and the stars. Then, to please me on the eve of my day, February 14th, celebrate with the most romantic party of the year. For I am Fevrua, goddess of the fever of love." How hot is that? Snap, snap, Fevrua. This is an interesting one. I wrote all these weird phone numbers. I printed them, I wrote them in silver, and I wrote, "Who are you?" Somehow these were stuck in the love journal. What do they have to do with anything? Guess I should call them. Wouldn't that be weird now in times of COVID? I'm just like, "Yeah, hi, hello. So I stuck your number in my love journal. I don't know what it means." This was like a night at a coffee shop, a cool coffee shop night when there was like typewriters set up, and my friend Midas wrote this for me. It was actually one of my quotes, which is always sweet when someone remembers something you said enough to like gift it back to you. And she wrote, "It's so strange. Even the smell of my fan is the most delicious thing." And that's a quote for me. And she wrote on the other side, "Love you endlessly with many E's." Isn't that sweet? That is really sweet. I liked this one. "I keep letting people convince me that I'm the crazy one. I'm not. Most people are just as crazy as I. They just have more disguises." Yeah. This is a rather romantical little shot I did in the backyard in the snow. That's in my my Sloan wig, if you remember her. Anyway, I did this little fairy shoot. This was, again, the advice of a friend, not me, but someone told me, I'm not saying to not put all your eggs in one basket. I'm telling you to remember that you're the golden egg. Just try to feel that. Super sound advice. Very kind, actually. Probably needed to have that slapped into me a little. This was a little something I wrote that's like a little hoo-hoo, a little scandalous. More Lisa Frank. Always Lisa Frank, right? These are tattoos. I'll probably wear some for you tomorrow. Latent sensuality. Tourmaline, Poe, pleasing with me, earth goat. Cardinal negative, meaning receptive and responsive. Cowslip, daisy, poppy, apples, plums. Ivy, holly, elm, comfrey. Obstinate, plodding, indulgently amorous. Now I remember where that's from. It's little notes I took about a astrological assessment of me. This is a warning in a packaging. I'm not going to say what it's from, but it says, caution, may cause sexual feelings or the urge to get naked. Good thing I held on to that. That's good for a laugh. This was just a little note I wrote and kept. Very sentimental, I assure you. Knock you on the kisser or kiss you on the knockers. I don't even know if I made that up or someone else said it. I don't know. You tell me. Yes, I know who this is about. Went to the science museum with them, and how we get lost in the portals of love. My goodness. But I like this little ditty I wrote. I said, the moon is a bat wing, an owl maiden's tongue, and Venus sits up there having all the fun. It's sleight of hand just like every other trick. It's a candle burn down both ends of the wick. Transfusions take place inside of a minute. There's a key beneath the glass milk jug. The counting of lovers. I forgot it was a card game. Grab hold of my mirror face. Set free the speaker wire. That one actually brings up a very fascinating story if you'll stick around for it. I'm weird. I told you. I have many a premonition. It's an odd skill of mine. I just was kind of born with it. Again, no matter to me if you doth believe me or not, but this shit is straight true. So, several of my lovers I predicted by finding cards. I mean, and I'm serious, this shit was weird. It was like mystical alignment. We're not talking like I went into a casino and like, oh, how weird, I found a card. We're talking like number 8 literally flew through the air and hit me in the eye. Gah! And it was like an 8 of diamonds. And it was very like gross. It was very tattered and not in good shape, this 8. And 8 was not great. But it happened slightly thereafter. 7, number 7 was a miniature itty, so I'm giving away some juicy shit here, okay? But I found a miniature 7 of hearts underneath the wheel of this person's car as I met them in Boulder, and was like, voila. 9 was gifted to me in the form of, it flew out of a bicycle. Like they put the card in the bike spoke to make that and it flew out, and I caught it in midair. And I knew who it was going to be. Like, I had a feeling. I put it in this hat, this fedora that person had gifted to me, and ended up seeing the movie 9 with that 9th lover on 9/9/09. Is that right? Yeah. How old would I have been? It was definitely 9/9. Maybe it wasn't. I think it was 09. How old would I be? I'm bad at math. Yeah, 09. Yeah, 9909 at 9 p.m. The movie 9 with 9. Just crazy shit, you guys. 6 found on the railroad tracks. It was a 6 of clubs for a would-be train hopper. Yeah, just crazy shit like that. The Jack. Now that one's too juicy. That one involves a celebrity, so I'm not even gonna. My lips are sealed, okay, until somebody gives me a celebrity career and I can get a book deal. But yeah, all I'm saying is it's mystical, it's magical. 3 was in water, and then 3 ended up having quite a bit to do with water. On and on. It was just a very strange phenomenon that happened to me. There you go. Juicy jazz. You got it from here, from the source. Here's a kind of spooky, deep, dark feelings about love one. It's called Blind Hold. In black ink, the poetess digs a long fingernail into the sore spot, a need for something to survive off the milk her body could make. What's all this business of specks? My love could fill this place up. The threat of expectation. Don't say the room is beautiful or someone will surely tear it all down. The pure ones light right up. Silly beacons of their own demise. Flies on the wall hear more clearly than those invited. Scratch this right off the list. It's a prize going to the best disguise. Spit grows thick on my lip corners. I couldn't bear the truth much longer. The premonitions closing in fill my pillow with tarred feathers. I'm getting ready to splice all these memories. My thoughts are breeding. I must have been feeling a little upset there. Must have been a rather upsetting experience. I can't remember exactly what was going on. Something dark. This was on the rooftop when I was at acting school, and I just like how sort of mystical it looks. I'm spinning, and there's no coloration added to this. This is just the crazy effect of pollution and light in Los Angeles, folks. Pretty crazy. I like the little picture on this one. Don't know where it came from, but this one actually has a kind of creepy attachment right there under the tape. It says stitches, and those are stitches from my mouth. Fun story. I had a hack job wisdom tooth removal, and the guy who did my surgery shoved this wisdom tooth into my sinus cavity all the way up there, fully just bloop. Then the other 3 were dry socket infections. So other people are like, yeah, I had some popsicles and I was fine. And I was like miserable for weeks. And so then years went by and I was having horrible migraines and like facial twitches and weird shit. And I had all these doctors be like, well, it's not going to kill you. So blah, blah, blah. And then I went to an actual good oral surgeon who was like, yeah, no, you can't have a fully formed wisdom tooth in your sinus cavity. That's going to be an issue. So then I had to have a whole other surgery where he drilled a hole in this part of my jaw and went in and fished the fucker out. And yeah, there's a permanent hole in my jawbone there now. Fun fact. So that was pretty traumatic. It was a long healing process. Glad I did it, because the guy who did the hack job tried to say that it was a piece of a wisdom tooth. Yeah, that sucker was fully formed. It was gross. It was all up there and just not where it should have been. So I wrote this in kind of a I was sad and the person I wanted to love me wasn't loving me, and I was like, but my face is all swole, don't you want to bring me cookies or something? And it was just like, no love, no support. So this one's called Stitches. The tooth turns cloud gray out of its hiding place. The mouth feels strange indeed. Valentine's Eve, 2011. They tell me it's a sore spot. Soothe my profile. An invader perched in there for 7 years, and you smashed a mirror, silly. While there's a vividly clamoring jaw clutch, a touch over too much. But it did slice quite nicely, the healing cells still smelling, anticipatory, jostled to the periphery. Someone kiss my cheek. How do I hold my teeth together? It's right at the top of my tongue. So yeah, I didn't even know that was on Valentine's Eve 20 years ago. What? That's so crazy. I'm sorry, 10 years ago. Help me. Time. What is it? I don't even know. 2011. 10 years ago. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's just shocking. I don't know. It's crazy. Either way, 10, 20. Glad it's not 20, but heck, weird that it was 10. Beep bop beep ba doop bop ba dee bop boop bop boop ba dee bop ba doop bop. Thought this one was just like a little funny snip of angst about love. You just have to see the picture first. That was like an advertisement for some crazy kinky event going on in LA, naturally, called Agony and Ecstasy. And I just kept the flyer. I did not go to the event. Even though, whatever your bag is, YOLO. But I wrote, gave up my shooting star addiction and just started howling wild at the moon for you instead. It's cute. It's cute. It's cute. This was from the first box of chocolates I was ever given by my first love, and I saved that. How freaking sentimental is that? My goodness. Yeah, guys, all kinds of crazy stuff in there. So, those are some snippets of love and stuff. I love this antique tin got for Christmas from my boyfriend's mom. Kisses. How cute. How cute is that? So this journal was given to me by my friend Midas, and she made it. Love the picture and the kind of inscription or whatever she started the journal off with. She wrote bacon and eggs, and then that little sticker says galaxy. Bacon and eggs, and then the back says oats and figs. Where's the callback to it? Oh, neither one's a stretch so long as log cabins exist. I just love that. Bacon and eggs, oats and figs. Neither one's a stretch so long as log cabins exist. I mean, that's when you know you have true friends. When they write crazy, beautiful, profound, sentimental shit that only you would understand, like that. And I just loved it. And then, weirdly enough, I don't even know how it came up. I brought this up somehow to a guest I was serving as a waitress, and he told me that he had started a band called Afraid of Figs. I hope you're still out there, Afraid of Figs, because that's a fucking badass. Sorry, I feel like I can't curse like that in a dress like that. That's just a flipping and extraordinary band name. My goodness. I do really like it. Okay. So, here's a little sad. Just longing for love. I wanted to point out, I'm already getting long here. I try so hard to speed it up, but I kind of wanted to point out how I get the feeling when you're single. I fully remember. I literally was not taken out on a proper real date until my 30s. So I remember that feeling of seeing everyone else and being like, it's only a thing for other people and it's not for me, and screw them, and the horse they came in on, the white, beautiful horse going to the castle, and it was like this thing meant for everyone else. But I just want to assure you that you can wait a really, really, really long time and still be loved the way that you've always needed to be loved. And in many ways, and find new loves, and it's everywhere. It's possible. Get off the internet. I mean, I know COVID, and yes, but I don't know, just try to make eye contact. That's really what it's about. I don't think it's about numbers and perfect glossy profile pictures. I think it's about eye contact. But anyway, this is one of those long bouts of not having it, which, trust me, I went through many of them. It's called The Way I Grab at Sleep in My Little Twin Bed. Yes, I slept in a twin bed until I was 27. Want to belong in someone's slumbering arms. Want to stick in their dreams, get 'em rubbing all their good luck charms. For more of my kisses, more of my sweet. Keep 'em on their feet, up on tiptoe, just to know what was that flash in my eyes. Want surprises on my pillow and petals up the stairs. Fingers in my hair to cry heavy crocodile tears and have 'em caught by tongue till the storm clears. Want all the best beauty marks noted. Want to be floated with my eyes shut on the surface of lovely blue water, nude. Have their eyes glued on me all the while. Want a heaping pile of leaves to jump in, laughing. Want the fireplace night and the whole bit. Candles lit and soft words poetically spoken. No heartbroken mess. And yeah, you guessed it, no pull away, no sorry to say. But a cheek that glows when I fingertip taste it. Some soul who won't waste it or let it blur with the bunch. I want love making at lunch and supper and dessert. The chance to flirt years in and blushing like it's just about to begin after hundreds of kisses. Delight all the same, and to hear my name spoken with the word love trailing near. And I can scarcely express the fear that it could ever leave me in the dust. Love just lust. Please don't let that be so. I must feel it. I must know. So that was a lot of longing, boys and girls. A lot. So sometimes you have to wait. This was words of a friend of mine, but I just thought it was really lovely advice. This is a friend who was always like a sister to me until I had romantic feelings for her. So whatever, sometimes life is like that. What are you going to do about it? And she said, "You haven't made it through the woods because you haven't started walking yet. You've been exiled from the kingdom, but you haven't started cutting through the dark woods. But that's the thing about the dragon. He always anticipates your next move. He makes a change in the middle of the night, and he will do anything to fool the good in you, the bravery. You have to go into it knowing it's a monster." Great advice, truly. I mean, that's awesome advice. And she was making me feel better about my stomach issues because I have a stomach alien named Joby, which I've talked about briefly. I will go into more detail about. I've had many doctors say to me, "Well, that is very strange. I don't have a clue what it is, but it's weird." That's all they tell me about it. And she said, "Only you would have a fucking orchestra in your stomach." And she said it as a compliment, and I really needed that and liked that. This is a beautiful, beautiful envelope, the contents of which are secretive and ancient and long ago and special to me. But, yeah, that's that. This is a picture I told you about that I went on this, sacred journey with some girlfriends, and I just decided all of a sudden that I was ready to let go of this really abusive relationship, and I just opened the window and I let go. So that was a pretty cool feeling. Just a little note about just trying to give myself permission to feel what I feel, I guess. As for the idea of being too much, fuck it. You find a way to carry that pot of gold. You just find a way. And I'm not saying goodbye to summer until long after September. A murmuration of birds. Stand-up ovation. Haven't you heard? I like that. These are also not my words, but I think that they are potent and beautiful. I've given you a little bit more of others' words than my own this evening, but that's okay. I've hit you with a lot of original poetry, plenty of it, I think, and there will be lots and lots and lots and lots more. But I think I'm going to leave you on this one because it's quite beautiful. This was up on my mirror for the longest time in the bathroom, but then it started, of course, kind of warping in the mirror. And I've seen it before. I know this is kind of famous, but I hate to admit I don't know who it's by. But it's called Gift from the Sea. When you love someone, You do not love them all the time in exactly the same way from moment to moment. It is an impossibility. It is even a lie to pretend to. And yet this is exactly what most of us demand. We have so little faith in the ebb and flow of life, of love, of relationships. We leap at the flow of the tide and resist in terror its ebb. We are afraid it will never return. We insist on permanency, on duration, on continuity, when the only continuity possible in life, as in love, is in growth, in fluidity, in freedom, in the sense that the dancers are free, barely touching as they pass, but partners in the same pattern. The only real security is not owning or possessing, not hoping even. Security in a relationship lies neither in looking back to what it was in nostalgia, nor forward to what it might be in dread or anticipation, but living in the present relationship and accepting what it is now. For relationships, too, must be like islands. One must accept them for what they are, here and now, within their limits. Islands surrounded and interrupted by the sea, continually visited and abandoned by the tides. One must accept the security of the winged life, of ebb and flow, of intermittency. That was some pretty solid advice, I gotta say. That's largely accurate as I look back on all of these things that I tried to keep such a tight grip on, and I was like, it's gotta be just like this forever. And, that's not a thing that commonly goes well. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you this one too. This was actually from said hat that I put the 9 in, this piece of leather that came out with the feather. This was oh my gosh, when people were talking about the fear of the world ending in 2012, I went with someone that I held that tight grip with. Like, this has to be it. For about 6 years. And we went to the butterfly pavilion. And these are just names of butterflies, but the way that it sounded was so beautiful to me, like poetry. So I wrote it down. Tawny Rajan, common tiger, striped blue crow, Atticus atlas, large cruiser, dark blue tiger, great orange tip, owl malachite, morpho, zebra, longwing, and don't forget Rosie. Rosie is the tarantula at the butterfly pavilion. Many good memories there, many indeed. Ooh, this was advice from the same friend. Maybe it's all good. I gotta include some of it. Same friend who told me to make sure I fight the dragon knowing it's a monster and that I hadn't yet entered the woods. She said, cynics desecrate beauty. First plant your fields, then build your barn. Prayer doesn't come from discipline. It comes from a place of desperation. Ooh, snap, 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 right? Holy golly. I keep thinking there's one last, perfect thing to end it on, but I'm not sure. I think I've given you a lot of really good, oh, this is cool. I'm not going to read it. It's a little private, but I wrote this with an owl wing, which is pretty bitchin'. Yeah. Love and stuff and love. Ooh, yeah, love. Ooh, this was a kind of dark one. Ooh, I should leave it on a high note, but I like this one. I wrote, romance-ridden, a hidden infestation, a rare mutation, the pest control cannot contain. Refrain from flailing about. Your failing pout drags down the corners of your unkissed mouth. Push it all south into the inner cellar. You're doing a stellar job, kid, long as you rid yourself of that pesky hope. That's sad. Oh, this is a cute one to leave on. Yeah, this is a good little thing. Also not my words, but just a cute thing to bippity boppity boop it and say goodnight. Same friend, same lovely friend who spoke of dragons and planting seeds and building barns just now, said, I sat amongst candlelight. I just ate a dessert that reminded me of you. Damn, that's sweet. That's a really nice thing to say to someone. So love comes in many forms. We try to impose our norms upon it and make it things that it doesn't want to be. And we just have to let it be crazy, evolving, bendy, swirly, confusing, whirly love. It just is. It's never going to be exactly what we demand it to be. It's going to be the big, epic, ebbing, flowing thing that it is. So thank you so much for joining me. I feel very fanciful. I just want to keep talking because I just feel so dang fanciful in this gown. But thanks for being a part of my Valentine's Eve and swirling through some luscious love with me. So cuddle up, cozy up, give love and be loved, and give love to yourself. I know it's really hard right now, but it's good for your health. It really is. Yeah, take a bubble bath, do what you need to do, eat excessive, copious amounts of chocolate. I know that's always a preferred method for myself. Put on something luscious with poofy sleeves, perhaps. And just, yeah, believe in the stuff. It's all around us, and I think it's probably the hottest commodity we've got. And I don't mean in a sell it on Instagram way. I mean, it may save the human species someday. That glowy, ever elusive microcosm called love. So hold it and have beautiful dreams. Why don't you?